Politics isn't just about policies and power plays. It's about people. It's about you. I'm TD Madia, and on Politricking, we go beyond the headlines. From interviews with politicians to the voices shaping our society, we break down the stories that matter and why they matter to you. Stay informed, stay engaged. Stream Politricking with TD Madia now on primemediaplus.com or on ewn.co.za.
Sinao Tambo, who is a member of parliament with the Economic Freedom Fighters. Sinao, thanks for making time for us. Good morning.
Morning, Clemens, once again, and morning to the listeners.
So, you have seen what the finance minister has announced last night. Let me first get the reaction from the EFF, and also, what do you think this means going forward? Because, does the finance minister reverse VAT just by decree, or are there other processes that should unfold in parliament?
Look, I think the first thing we need to do is to clear the mudding of waters, because a lot of what is happening now is claiming of victories by a lot of political parties.
Yeah.
So the first thing we must clarify is that the minister, as you are saying, cannot decree a reversal of the VAT hike unilaterally. And if we read his media advisory carefully, he says that he's going to introduce a proposed amendment bill to propose that the VAT hike remains at 15%. Now, that reveals to you that any statement by anyone that says that the VAT hikes have been reversed immediately is incorrect. The second point that I think we should also clear the muddied waters of people who are claiming victories is that the media advisory by the minister doesn't speak to utilizing any alternative revenue generation mechanisms proposed by any political party or holder. He says he's going to recover the shortfall by adjusting expenses. So this means that there are political parties that can say that during this 30-day period, they've provided an alternative revenue generation mechanism that has resulted in the VAT being scrapped. What is going to happen is that there's going to be consequences to health, there's going to be consequences to education, and possibly social grants, because the minister is going to try to offset the revenue shortfall of 75 billion by cutting expenditure.
Yeah.
So let's clear the muddied waters.
That's now. I need you to repeat that. I need you to pause there a bit, because there is a confusion that's been created out there, because that's how I understood it as well. When I read the finance minister's statement, he doesn't say that, oh, I'm now convinced by whatever proposals that BOSA or Action SA has submitted. There are going to be consequences here, because all he's saying is, okay, I'm not going to increase VAT. And even in that statement, he acknowledges that there are going to be consequences. So it's not because he's now suddenly convinced by Action SA's proposals or other parties' proposals. It's because he saw that he's probably going to lose this case in court, and better withdraw this right now rather than wait for the ruling on the 28th, because that was going to create a much bigger headache.
Absolutely, and that is the point I wanted to get to, is that we should recognize the importance of the court process here, because the duplicity but also the deception of the Minister of Finance is revealed in the fact that he said in his court papers that he doesn't foresee this being reversed, that on May the 1st. So this reversal comes from what happened in court 2 days ago, and that is reflective on the fact that the consequences of the scrapping of the VAT hike are going to fall on the poorest of the poor, which might as well remain the fact that can be equated to the VAT hike in itself. So those are the 2 points. But I think, Clement, the other point we need to make is that the minister states in his media advisory that he's going to withdraw the Division of Revenue Bill and Appropriations Bill and rework it and resubmit it to Parliament in the next coming weeks. The Division of Revenue Bill and the Appropriations Bill are products of the fiscal framework. So when he reintroduces them in a couple of weeks, what informs the Division of Revenue Bill? What informs the Appropriations Bill?
It's the fiscal.
And what is the fiscal policy that guides them? Because the fiscal framework, which is currently disputed in court, by the way, has been adopted by the National Assembly. So he's gonna rework this Division of Revenue Bill and Appropriations Bill, guided by what? Because we have to go back to the initial process. That is why we as the EFF are saying that he has consequently withdrawn the budget in its entirety. And we don't see how he, in good conscience, wants to remain a Minister of Finance, because he has missed the timelines established by the PFMA Act, which say that before the beginning of the financial year, by the 31st of March this year, for example, he should have presented a budget. He has essentially not done so. And the confusion needs to be clarified for our people, because, for example, now, Parliament is going to go on a recess as of tomorrow. His proposed amendment bill, when is it going to be deliberated upon by Parliament? So we're not trying to blow anyone's bubble, but let's be honest and reflect on the process objectively before we try to claim victories, all of us as political parties.
Yeah. All right. Sinao Tambo, EFF Member of Parliament, thanks for making time for us. Do you agree with that assessment? Do you not?
Words have tremendous power.
At 702, we use ours to inform,
connect, and spark real change. But we can't do it alone.
So join the conversation.
Add your voice.
And together, we'll turn words into meaningful action. 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming countrywide on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
and 92.7 and 106 FM.